What is going on, guys? Leon Leslie here, back with another week of real estate. I have two very nice guests that are going to be here with me tonight. They're actually my parents, Leon Leslie Senior and Deborah Leslie. My dad is actually in a school session right now, so he'll be out in a few minutes. But I have Mrs. Leslie here. How you doing tonight?
Hi, God bless you, Leon Jr. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Just on the road, heading up back to New York. But yeah, we're here tonight. I wanted to have a discussion with you guys, uh, both my mentors, about real estate and you guys' real estate journey. And you know, I wanted to. I'm learning myself. I've learned from you guys, and I want to learn more. And I want the people to know you guys' story, your journey, and how everything started. So you wanna introduce yourself? You wanna
Well,
say a word?
yes, yes. First of all, I want to thank you for having us. Again, as you formally stated, Mr. Leon Leslie Sr. is just finishing up a class of his. But again, he said he'll be on in 10 minutes. But
Okay.
I am very, very happy to be here on this platform with you. Thank you for the invite. My name is Deborah Leslie, and I am the mother of, again, Leon Leslie Jr. And I'm ready. Those of you who have, questions, concerning um, our journey, please, feel free again to just, ask away, ask away.
Okay. Okay. So let's kind of kick it off, and then Mr. Leslie will come in 10 minutes. So um how did you guys get started in real estate? Give me the rundown. Like before you got started, before you purchased your first property, what was it like? What was your lifestyle like? Let's get into it. What how did that go for you?
Okay. So as you know, Leon Jr., Dad and I, we've been married this past August, made 39 years of marriage.
Yes.
And so and so yeah, so when we got married in 1986, we decided not to get an apartment because we knew, you know, what we wanted to do in the future as far as owning real estate or owning our own homes. So what we did was your grandmother, Claudia Leslie, she had like a four family apartment building, and we started out in the basement,
Mm,
which was not finished at the time, but we built it up, made a kitchen, bathroom, and everything down there, and we lived there for about maybe, I want to say, 2 years. And then when you came along, I got pregnant with you, and you came along. Um, when I came out of the hospital after having you, we she gave us an apartment. She didn't really give
mm,
us an apartment, but we paid rent, but it wasn't at the market value. So
okay.
we paid rent for a two-bedroom apartment in the same building, and then we were on the job in YPD, and we had made a plan. We had
Mm,
a goal, and we said that we would be on the job, stay on the job for 3 years, and then purchase our home. So in 1991, your dad and I went into the police academy, and in 3 years, you would reach top pay back then. So
right.
we knew that, this is what we were what we were working towards was to purchase a home. And, your grandmother, Claudia, she made a real impact on our decision making as to, what type of home, we should purchase.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the rest is like, history. Um, one, thing that she told us was that, um, when you go to purchase your home, don't purchase a one family, you know,
Mm,
do not purchase a one family, try to purchase, a two family or above, because, when she gave us the pros and the cons, you know.
yeah,
The one of the pros was, you know, you're if you get a two family or a multifamily building, you can have other people paying your mortgage,
right,
you know,
right,
just in case, especially if you're working. You know, one of the cons were, if you're working and you purchase a one family home, and God forbid something happens to you where you can't work, where you can't get the, income to pay your mortgage, what are you going to do? What
right,
what may happen? Because now you don't have any help, you don't have anyone helping you to pay off that mortgage, per month. So that was one of the pros and one of the cons regarding purchasing a multifamily versus
okay.
a one family.
Got it, got it. Okay, so they call that house hacking. And that's how many investors get started. They house hack where they'll live in one apartment, and then they'll rent out the other apartment, and in turn that'll pay your mortgage for you. So I see that's what you guys did to get started. Now, as far as getting started, where did you guys purchase your first property? Where was it located? Where was
Uh,
it located at?
Um, the first property was located in Brooklyn.
Okay.
In Brooklyn, um, is a two-family uh home with a finished basement.
Mm. So basically, it was like a three family.
Right, right, right. And so we purchased that at the time. Um, that purchase price was, I think, 235, 235,000.
235.
Yeah, and we had I think you said that you wanted to know the interest rate back
Yeah.
then, like about 7%.
Okay. Okay. So kind of like where it is right
Eight,
now.
yeah, 7-8% around there approximately. And yeah, and mom came along with us, after a while. She sold the fourth family, and then she came over and we gave her the upstairs apartment. And she was paying rent, but not at the market rate
Yeah.
going for. Before she moved in, we did have also a family that moved in when we first purchased. So and we're still friends to this day.
Yeah.
So uh yeah, so and then the basement we rented out to a family member of mine's, my sister. And so that was extra income that was coming in.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you said that it was at 7%. Did you guys get some sort of conventional loan, or did you guys pay 20% down, or how did you guys get the first loan?
No, the first loan was a FHA.
FHA.
Yeah,
Okay.
and we only had to put down 5%.
Very good. 5% on 235, that's not much, guys,
Yeah,
to get into your first house in Brooklyn. And imagine what the prices are now in Brooklyn, New York. I mean,
yeah.
I can't imagine, you know?
Well, well, that same house, I did some research. That same house inside Canarsie, Brooklyn, it's worth mm, about 940 now.
940. Oh my god. Oh, close to a million.
Yeah, 940. Um, and yeah, it's close to a million. And like, people in the area, it can go for like from like 845 to like $1.2 million.
Mm. Wow, that's the power of just purchasing one property, right? You get to live for free. You get a 3 unit, you get to live for free. And then also the appreciation. It went from 235,000 to
Right?
almost a million,
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know?
so that house, that's what that was. And I'm trying to look up something else, because then we turned around and we purchased a second home on the same block.
Ah,
So 17. I think I gave you the estimates for the house that we still own on that block, the second house. Okay. Yes. So I'm sorry, that those estimates were for the house that we the second house that we own in Canarsie.
okay.
The first house that we moved in, it is now worth $980,000.
Wow. Wow. And and let's get into that. That second house, how did you guys get that second house? Like, what was the process for you, and how much did you guys pay for that second house? And what was your mindset behind purchasing the next one?
Okay. So here's your dad coming down now.
Okay, okay. Mr.
uh,
Leslie's on his way.
yeah, I don't know if he was trying to get on. Uh,
Oh, I might be able to add him. Let me see if I can
um,
add him.
okay. You don't have your laptop, right? Do you have your
Why didn't
laptop?
you go? It's upstairs.
Okay. All right, no problem. So he's going.
Okay, it's
He's
okay. It's all right.
going.
He can join you. He can join
Yeah.
you. That's fine. That's
Mhm.
fine.
Here he is. So your question was, Leon, what was the experience of purchasing the second house? What did we do? What's the process? Um, I know your dad is, he's gonna go into some personal things, and how I felt about purchasing that second home on the same block.
Yeah.
Um, I will let him. If you wanna,
Yeah, sure.
I already told him about the first
But the
home.
first home,
Yeah, and how much it was, and what we put down, and what it's worth now.
um, first thing I want to say is thank you for having us. I apologize for being late. I was in a class, taking a class in theology, master's in theology, and this night was subbed out. It's supposed to be Monday nights, but we're here now. But thank God. So the first house, I guess she told you about.
Yeah.
We did that with 3 years.
Yeah, within 3 years
Within
being
three
on the
years of
job.
being on the job. And then one of the things I did want to say about that was I know you had made reference to like how did we save up for that?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to know how did you guys save up
So I
for getting your first one?
just mentioning two things that were very important was one was me and my wife we've never rented from anyone.
Mm.
Oh, she mentioned that.
Except for mom.
Well, we gave
I
mom, but
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
yes, but what I'm saying is like we lived in one of the apartments. It wasn't much, and then when we left my mom's house, we bought our own
Mm.
house.
Okay.
One of the key points is if you can, if you're smart, if you have wisdom, like some people I know, they
That's funny.
time until they get it together. And some people jump out of the nest and they never really land because there's no ground. You didn't do financially good by yourself. You should save up your money and get
Yeah.
a house.
Yeah.
Go
And
ahead.
and and so how we went about that was because I've I've never growing up, I never owned my parents, they never owned a home, but my husband's family owned.
Mm,
So what I have learned, um, what I know now, I have learned through my husband as far as investing and purchasing property and knowing how important it is to own
yes.
instead of renting. But how we saved up, I, my husband said to me, listen, whenever you get a lump sum of money,
Keep it.
whether it could be through your income taxes yearly, um, it could be through lawsuits that you may have. That's the lump sum of money that you can get, and then you can also take advantage of the financial benefits from your job. And
Yes.
that we had good
Good job.
jobs. We had good jobs. So that's how, that was part of how we saved up. Anytime we got a whole lump sum of money, a good
Mhm.
thousands of dollars, two, three, four, five, $10,000, we put it together, and that's how we were able to purchase our first home with and just putting down 5%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's key right there because a lot of people they think that you need 20% to buy a house. You need 20% down to buy a house to get your first property when that's not true. And some people think that you need to come to the table with the whole thing with 235,000. That's a misconception. You come to the table with 5%. So that's basically like 11,000 plus closing costs, right? So that's not a ton of money, but maybe back then it was. But if you just, save, you guys said you saved for 3 years and you said you're gonna go get a house. 11,000 is not a ton of money to get started and to start living for free, right? So take me take me guys through the second property and what was it like trying to get, you know I know the story, but let the people know the story of what you guys did to get the second house, how much it cost,
So
what'd
now
you put down, things like that.
the second house was 243.
That's
I think it was
no,
243. It was a little bit more
more
than
than the
the
first
first
house,
house.
like maybe almost
And
300 because
no, it was in the 240s,
okay,
250s, somewhere like that, right?
okay.
But one of the things about it was that it was a judge that lived there. He was a good friend of mine. His name is Judge Greenspan, and he was selling a house. So the first one he came to on the block was he said, "Leon, I'm moving to Florida with my daughter." I said, "Oh, okay." He said, "If you know somebody that wants to buy this house, I'm not gonna put it on the market. You just let me know." I said, "All right." So I went to a friend of mine. What was his name? Kimani's father, Robinson. I went to him and I said, "Listen, man, Judge is selling a house." And then he went down the block. He looked at it and he was like, "Nah, I don't want that." And some other friends, I was like, you know. And then I thought to myself, I buy the house, you know. And
Yeah.
and they looked at the house and it had like paneling. It had, one of those things that you sit on to get you upstairs. It
Oh
was
yeah,
That
I remember that. Yeah, lift to get you upstairs. Yeah.
great. So people you have to look at the potential. You have to look past some of this stuff. If I ripped stuff and I did the wall, and that's exactly what I did. So there's a jacuzzi in there now, a standing shower, the bathroom. I ripped out one of the.
we did it.
I ripped
We
out.
really
Ripped,
The
bedroom,
bedrooms, yeah.
closed up the side of the wall where you'd walk down the hallway, and made a bathroom out of it.
A bathroom,
And it's still
master
gorgeous.
bedroom bathroom.
Wow.
Last week, it's still
Yeah,
gorgeous,
and
and it draws at just as much as a 3 bedroom,
right.
but it's
So
nice. But
what we did with that home, we did a refi on the first home
right,
and
Mm,
took that money and purchased, put it down payment and closing. That's how we
okay.
that's how we
Okay.
we did that.
and I think it was like 6 or 7% was the rate back then.
Yeah.
Um,
Around the same amount that we purchased, we got the same rate, 7, 8%, I believe it was. But that's how we went into the second home. And it was a two family with a basement. Another
Yeah.
right.
so and I guess that was that, right? And right now, that house, I as I forestated, it's 98% plus. In the last 10 years, it has gone up in value.
Mm,
I think it's close to $1 million.
Right.
yeah.
It tells
Yes.
the price.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's so, like when you have the opportunity, it excels you. Real estate is something that's like, it's legacy. So you have to invest to have it just helps your life in every fashion, every manner, the investment, and it's the struggle at first, but especially getting the first house is really because you have to be disciplined, right? It's how you treat your money. God blesses you with money and assets, and you have to be a good steward over what He's blessing you with and not always be like, I always tell people about people that have money in their pocket and that always focus on how can I spend the money. But remember,
Yeah.
money, I tell people, is always just a tool.
Yeah.
It's just a tool, and it depends on how you use it. So if you use the money to your advantage, you save it up, you block it up, like my wife was saying, we put all the bulk money together, and when we purchased, we made sure instead of buying liabilities that you have to pay out, we bought assets.
Yes. Yes.
You
100%.
and again, I want to thank God for my husband, because I was in the frame of mind, because my parents, we never owned. I was in the frame of mind that money money was
Made to be spent.
made to be spent. Yeah, it was made it
No.
was to be spent. And just coming into, a family that, had, knowledge, and they were really doing it, they were really doing it. I just thank God that, my mind was transformed, because that second house, dad will tell you, is the second house, I didn't want to
She
purchase
did
that.
not.
Mm.
I had enough with the first house on the block. I, I just I was
So
looking at all of the other things, the panel, and
yeah, you
and it
can't
was
look at
just,
that stuff.
and I
But I'll tell
just
you how the conversation went. Every year or every couple of years, I would buy a car, she would buy a car, and then we'd buy a house.
Mm.
Car, house. So it was her turn
to get a car.
to get a car. And that Mr. Greenspan approached me with that. And like a couple of weeks later, I was like, "Hun, I think we should buy that house." And she's like, "I don't want."
And yeah, I wanted my car, and it was my turn to get a
And
car.
it was.
And
It
and
was.
then your dad, Mr. Leslie here, senior,
I spoke to her.
he explained to me. He said, you can always purchase a car, but if you go into this venture and purchasing this home, right? You have rentals.
Yeah.
So you can purchase this home. We can purchase this home, rent out the apartments, and one of those apartments can take care of a car note if I wanted to go get a car. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
said, oh, that makes sense. That makes real sense. I be coming out of my pocket to pay for something as such as a liability when somebody else can be paying for the things that I
Yes.
to have.
Exactly, man.
100%. 100%. And I'm sitting here listening to you guys, right? And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, this is so amazing that my life is kind of mirroring you guys' life." Like my queen right here, she's sitting right here. Right? She's sitting right here next to me, and we went through the same exact process.
But
3
it's not by
years.
accident.
Yeah. I think like 3 years in, we purchased the first house. The second house, private money or, pulling some equity out of your property and getting the next one. And then, so on and so forth. And it came to a point where like Ray and I sat down and we were like, do we want to purchase this next one? Like, and I was like, yeah, babe, come on, let's purchase it, and we went ahead and did it. So it's like my life is kind of like I'm just realizing my life is kind of like mirroring what you guys went through, so like that's amazing. That's amazing.
But
Um, Go
one of
ahead.
the was like like my wife was saying, on our family, we always stressed like you had to have, because for most African American homes, the biggest asset that you will ever own is your home. And if you're smart enough to buy the multi-dwelling before you buy a single family, then you might even get some more assets because we have other properties also. But one of the things that we've always learned is that because if you remember correctly, I was teaching you how to do everything as related to
Yeah.
a
For
house,
sure.
so that
For
when
sure.
you were like, oh, I know how to cut floors, I know how to do tiles, I know how to sheet rock, I know how to electric plumbing, you know, and not to say that you have to go out and work doing those things, but you know, when little things come up, you're at least handy enough to be able to take care of your properties.
100. 100%.
And so think I think one of the questions was about the portfolio and what it looks like now. Um at one point we decided to purchase a single family home, which is where we live now.
Mhm.
Um and at one point in our lives we owned those three properties at the same time.
Yeah.
We actually wound up selling the first property that we purchased, and then we decided we were gonna purchase out in Long Island. And how did we come? We did that. We built from the ground. This
So you guys built your kinda like forever home from the ground up.
right, and how we did that was that we used our finances, our benefits from our job.
Mm.
So at one point when we were on the job, we were able, each of us, to
Take loans,
take a loan against, I believe it was our
a
deferred
pension,
comp. It
pension,
was a
a pen,
deferred comp, a pension,
a pen.
and up to $50,000. So each of us got like took $50,000, and this is how we ended up here where we are now. And that more than enough at the time that this house, we purchased it for like 500,000, and now it's worth close to 900,000.
Mm.
You
Okay.
you know, and
Okay.
But when we came out here, we were originally looking for the school districts first. The first thing our concern was, because the catalyst for us moving was we didn't really want our children in the schools in Brooklyn because some of them were really bad. Like, so
yeah,
I know you went to a good school, but like we just said, all right, well, instead of paying for private schooling, why don't we just find a school
just
district
mm,
in Long Island that's really good? And we came out and we looked around, and the
and this
further
is
out you came,
mm,
the school schools started looking like college campuses,
Yeah.
so
Right,
would
right.
um, to
Mhm.
to find this property in the area.
Right. So that's how we accomplished this goal in our private house, and then we still have the house in the one house in Brooklyn, and then we have acquired, throughout the years, property in different states. We have land, and in different and different countries, we have land. And I believe one of your questions were, um, what were what are our plans
Yeah,
now?
what are your plans now and for the future for investing in properties or whatever you guys would be investing in?
Okay. So for me, I believe what our plan is. I would say to the audience, you know, continue to plan to invest. Whether it's buying real estate, or whether, if you have property or land that was left to you, you know, develop,
Yes.
keep building. So I think that is one of our, our, I don't know what future goals.
Objectives.
Yeah,
Okay.
future goals to develop. And I also have a desire to purchase, like, if I don't build, I want to purchase like a retirement home or a vacation home.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Got you.
Come in.
yeah, that's that for me. Whether it's building, whether it's developing what we already own.
Yeah, your land.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, and one other thing that I think that I don't know if you touched on it yet was if we had any regrets as far as real estate is concerned. So
Mhm.
the only the only thing I regret is I wish that we did not have to sell that property,
the first
the
first
first
house.
house that we bought. Um, through the years, most of the people that rented from us was family, and so like I would say, in looking back, if you can, if you can help your family find some place to be,
Yes.
that's going to be an asset to you because if they stop having income or if they can't afford your price or you can't just throw your family out. But if you just help them find someplace else to be, they'll keep up with their obligations. So there were times when family was just living rent free for
Mm.
times. And what do you say to them? Oh, they say they don't have a job or they can't do any better. What do you say? You're not going to take them to court.
Right.
Right. And I get that. I get that because it's family, right? And you kind of have to empathize with, family members that may not be able to, may not be able to afford anything else, right? So you doing it from the bottom of your heart, right? But like you said, I have a tenant that what he did was he took his son out of his property and he let his son rent our property for less money, and he paid the rent for about a year and a half straight, but he was still cash flowing from his property, right? So if you guys can help it, if you have an investment property and you have, family that want to stay, tell them, listen, I can help you to maybe get another apartment or something, you know. Another thing that I one of our, I guess you can say it's a regret, is actually putting someone in your property that is also um like doing work for you, like a contractor or something like that. That gets really messy sometimes, and that wasn't a good look for us. So I don't think we would ever do that again. Like we gave him a discount to do work for our properties, and come to find out he's barely paying his rent, right? So it's like you don't wanna mix family with business, and also you don't wanna get a contractor in there that you have a deal with because more than likely it's not gonna go the way that you want it to go. So that's my experience with with that, our experience, my wife and I, right? So,
And I would say that, throughout this process of, being owners, and having tenants, you know, um, we really did not lean on when it came time for vetting the people, for the apartments.
mhm.
We really didn't depend on, like, real estate agents
Or
to,
property managers.
yeah, to bring people in and look at the place, because, all they were what it seemed like it was that they were just interested
Money.
in getting their commission. You understand? They don't care who they bring, who they put in your place. As long as they get their commission, you know, the problem is yours afterwards. You
Uh,
and so we made it, a rule that we
Would vet them.
would vet the people.
A lady,
We show we,
a lady
we
came there. A lady,
story time.
a lady came there. She said, "Oh, I'll rent the apartment from you." I said, "But you have to fill out this paperwork." She said, "No, no, no. I don't work, but I'm going to pay you for 2 years in advance."
yeah.
Red flag. That's a red
Yeah.
flag, man.
Ah,
Yeah, so you can't
mm-mm.
be gullible, you know. And another thing, advantage of, vetting your own your people, is that when you meet someone face to face, right?
Mhm.
And they're looking at the apartment, you know, you talking to them and interviewing them, and they don't even know it.
Right,
You just
100%.
ask questions, so where you coming from, why you have to move or whatever. What do you do for a living? Before they even start to fill out any paperwork.
Yeah,
Before they even fill out the paperwork, you practically know that, okay, this person may, be a good fit, or this person may not be a good fit, you know.
right.
Somebody's at the door. Mm-mm-mm.
It's okay. It's
I,
okay. So, I mean, if one of you guys wanna get it, you
I,
can. But, I wanted to ask you guys too, like, if you guys wanted to give the people one nugget of advice as far as real estate, what would it be to help them to purchase their first or their next investment or real estate property? What would you tell them?
A lot of it comes down to stewardship, right? So
Yes.
if you know people in the game like you're doing, you're helping them now. You're a huge asset because some of the things that people get involved in, some of the things that people get involved in, they really are not. You know, lost my train of thought. You're an asset, and one of the most important things too. The second thing is save your money. Don't like you can waste a lot of money. It's easy to
Mhm.
spend money, but the thing is to be disciplined to hold on to it so that you can have a down payment, an investment, everything that you need, and so that the money can grow. Right?
Mhm.
Why people sometimes sometimes people say, "Ah, I gotta go do this. I gotta chase this money." And I think to myself, I don't chase money. The
Right.
money me,
yeah,
Yes,
you
100%.
know?
yeah,
Money is supposed to work for you,
Mm,
right? And it says in the Bible too, like, if you're diligent, it leads to a profit, right?
absolutely.
And so you got like I think what you're saying is be a good steward over what you have, be a good manager over what you have already, and God will provide you with more.
Bless
But if you're not a good steward and you're always going out and you're spending every dime that you have, or you're spending money before it even comes in, then there's no way that you'll be able to save and then in turn invest in the future. So just yeah, be a good steward.
yeah,
Stewardship is one of the highest principles.
yeah,
and
Um,
read the living book. Read the Bible.
yeah,
The Bible
yes,
has everything you need to do, right?
hundred.
In Psalms 112. 3, it says, wealth and riches shall be in my house. Right? So
Right.
the thing is not to be prideful, but to be grateful because God gives you everything that you want. Right?
Everything that you
But at
need,
the
yeah.
same time that wealth and riches is in my house, it also says, first, seek ye the kingdom of heaven and all of its righteousness, and then everything else will be added. So you have to seek God first because he's your provider. He's Jireh.
Right. Absolutely. Are you there, Lee? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think he's there.
I don't know.
Lee, are you there? Oh, yeah, his internet connection.
Your internet connection?
No, his internet connection.
Please jump on the leadership meeting.
Okay, so while we're on, I don't know if you guys can still, the audience in Substack can still hear. I see that there are 6 people on.